Hey, it's Wesley here with Follow Up Genius with my host, co-host,
friend,
Steven
Groders.
And this is a very special Halloween episode of Follow Up Genius where we're going to be talking about bringing your dead leads back to life. Ooh,
just with a simple phone call.
That's right.
Ring, ring, ring.
Just like that.
Welcome to the Follow Up Genius Show, a show dedicated to helping real estate agents find their fortune in follow-up by creating stronger relationships, generating more referrals, and converting more leads. Hosted by Wesley Rocha, founder and CEO of LinkU, and Steven Groders, real estate entrepreneur and high-performance coach. Follow us at followupgenius.net.
Hey, welcome to this episode of the Follow Up Genius Show. And if you were with us last week, you may have seen our little strategies for re-engaging and bringing the one-liners used to re-engage either past leads, dead leads, and past clients. Now, in this episode, we really wanted to go deeper on bringing those dead leads back to life. Those leads that are maybe just sitting around collecting a bunch of dust and cobwebs, and just
no
going.
No pun intended.
And also talking about maybe the fear that people have when calling these leads.
Yeah, I think the biggest obstacle most people have is mindset when it comes to follow-up. You know, there's that fear of the unknown. Did they buy something? Are they not going to like me? Whatever it may possibly be, you just got to overcome the fear and pick up the phone, send out a text or an email, because it's really simple game. Our guest, Mark Hatton, he literally doubled his business this year, Wes, just by double downing on his follow-up. He didn't buy more leads. He doubled down on his follow-up. And Mark is a recovering lead junkie. And if you don't know what a lead junkie is, you're just playing the percentage games from buying more and more and more leads. Well, Mark is now a follow-up genius, quasi/recovering lead junkie. So let's bring Mark on.
Well, no. So before we do that, because we're getting Mark ready for the call right now.
Oh, my bad.
But with that, we're also going to, after we talk to Mark, we're actually going to take you through an actual, like we'll do a, what do you call it?
Role playing.
A role play. Yeah, role play on how you could, by the end of this call, take what you learn here and go attack some of those leads and exactly what to say when
it's
you
pretty
do that.
simple. It really is.
So
At the end
now,
of the day.
talking about this lead junkie thing kind of reminds me of how this whole follow-up genius thing started, basically, in building the LinkU software, the follow-up software. We actually started in LinkU, was LinkU Realty at the time, real estate digital marketing, and we actually worked with real estate clients to generate leads. You know, we were doing like home value leads. We were doing mostly
PPC.
a lot of mostly home value leads. And then when we met, we started doing some promo, like listing promo, stuff like that. But what ended up happening was we would do a lot of home value leads, and then we would constantly hear from people, you know, hey, these leads suck. You know, I've called them, or I tried to email, or they're not responding, or this number, or whatever it is. There's always some kind of reason. And the idea was, well, look, these leads, they're not instant. They do take some months you want to nurture them, you want to call them, you want to follow up with them, put them in a system, stuff like that. Well, as we were doing this, we actually had one client who had canceled his account because the leads weren't working out. But he did export them and take them with him. So I guess at some point he started researching these and looking up those individual addresses, basically, that were in his database, or the leads that we had generated. And he started seeing, well, holy crap, you know, a lot of these actually sold.
They sold.
Yeah.
They sold.
Sold, listed.
Can I interrupt you a second?
Yeah.
A click does not mean a commission check. It just doesn't.
No.
You know, people were so enamored, like, oh, they clicked incomplete data, bad phone number, bad email address. Oh. A click does not mean a commission check at the end of the day.
No, it doesn't.
So,
there's
sorry to interrupt.
There's a little more involved in that, right? So he's going through these leads. He's figuring, man, a lot of these people actually did sell. This thing actually freaking works.
So really, the leads didn't suck.
No, they didn't. They didn't
He
suck.
did.
They were worked a little different. Now the thing is, he actually kind of knew. He knew what he was doing. He's done stuff before, but internet leads was new to him, and Facebook leads take a little bit longer typically.
Well, most agents don't realize only 1 to 3% of people are ready to buy now within 90 days.
Right.
And the other 97 to 100% or 99%, you got to nurture them.
Yeah, it's basically
follow up with
It's
them.
called top of funnel, basically.
Yeah, top of funnel.
They're at the very top. They're in
Zillow's
the
bottom of funnel.
awareness phase. So anyway, at that point, he actually came back and said, "Hey, I want to turn this thing back on because I looked up these leads and they did sell." And we're like, "Yeah, well, that's what we're trying to tell you." But then we actually that made us kind of think, well, let's go look at some of these other clients that we have. And we saw that a very small percentage were actually killing it with the leads, but they had a very specific strategy. Some would literally drop packages on the door. They had very specific things. They had a good strategy together. Mm-hmm. And then everyone else a lot of them, almost 80-90% of them didn't ever even call the lead. They didn't contact, they didn't do anything except maybe the initial follow-up email or something that was sent by the system. And basically out of necessity, we're like, we need to build something that's going to help these clients basically nurture these
Follow
leads.
up.
Yeah, because otherwise they're just all going to cancel our lead gen service. Well, while doing that, what we found was basically they're not even following up with their past clients or their current database, and then look at all these other stuff. So we thought, what's out there? Well, there's these CRMs, there's some of this drip email, but a lot of stuff that's out there kind of sucked, and they weren't written. See, I'm a programmer, but I'm also very heavily involved in direct response marketing, which is a lot
Content.
of digital marketing. So we thought, well, what if we take this strategy and basically apply it to follow up, and actually get away from all the, generic ads and the generic type of copy that's on the emails and newsletters and recipes and all that, and take a direct response approach to it. And then we started building that out, and it was like, well, you know what, this is working. And then that's basically, because you already have Zillow, you have all these other lead gen, and that's how we ended up getting involved with Mark and some of these other
leads
clients
easy,
as well.
You know that. Generating leads is easy.
Right. Well,
The follow-up is the most difficult part.
And you could generate leads through Zillow, Realtor.com, people doing Facebook, open house leads.
Redfin, Trulia, Purple Brick, Yellow Brick. There's a million ways to generate leads, like open houses. I find funny about open houses is everybody does open houses Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4. When does everybody call? Everybody calls on Monday morning.
Yeah.
Like, that's the stupidest thing ever. Do you know when we call our team?
When
we can't see the taillights leaving the open house. I'm serious. You laugh.
You see the taillights leaving?
Once you said once you cannot see the taillights.
Oh, you can't see the taillight. Oh, like
hey,
once they're out of the distance?
Steven here. Thanks for visiting our open house. I'm sure it's probably not the only open house you guys are going to see today. If there's something that you want to get into, give me a call. But I'm getting off track here.
So totally good stuff. And then with those leads, what a lot of people do is once they do get that new lead, they're kind of just looking for low-hanging fruit.
They follow up once or twice.
Yeah, once or twice, and did that. And that actually brings
2 days
into,
later,
probably into Mark's story. So we should probably bring him on the call.
Yeah. So here's Mark. He's a recovering lead junkie who is he's become a follow-up genius. What a lead junkie is, he basically used to play the percentages. This I know, if I buy more and more leads, my conversion rate's going to be 2 or 3%. If I buy more leads, I have more closings. Well, we've convinced Mark to overcome the fear, and he picks up the phone and he calls a lot of his past clients. Without any further ado, let's bring Mark on, ask him a couple of questions. He's in one of the most competitive real estate markets in the United States. He literally doubled his business this year, and not by doubling his ad spend or doubling his advertising or his property promotions. He doubled down on his follow-up. Here's Mark.
Hey, hello, Stephen. Hello, Wesley.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for coming on today and sharing your story with us. I too, we were talking, and I feel like I too am a...
Say it out loud. You're a lead junkie. Just say it out loud.
I am too a recovering lead junkie. I'm sorry. I've let everybody down.
Well, he is. So many of us play the percentages games. Zillow, Truly, a Realtor, and most of your data collecting companies, they tell us that only 1 to 3, maybe 4% convert upon the click, right? When in all actuality, that 91 to 97 to 96% need to be nurtured because they're 18 to 24 months out.
Right.
Right. And that's when I came up with the philosophy: we're going to buy, we'll die, we'll unsubscribe, send me a restraining order. That's when my follow-up efforts end. So, hey, Mark, you're in probably one of the most competitive markets in the United States. Zillow has opened up multiple brokerages in your marketplace. Matter of fact, last week you met with them, and now you have to start paying Zillow a referral fee for every opportunity that they pass along to you. Makes sense?
Correct.
So, Mark was saying that, how many properties did you sell in 2018? 23. I got your numbers in front of me.
Well, there you go. So why are you asking me?
Well, I thought maybe you knew.
23.
You do know now. How many houses are you going to close this year? Over 50?
Right in there, right there. I've had back surgery, so that's hampered me a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be right in there, close to 50, 45.
Okay, so what do you attribute almost doubling your business in one of the most competitive markets in the United States? What do you attribute a lot of that to? Because your lead flow hasn't went up, your ad spend has not went up, but your follow-up has. So can you tell us a little bit of how you doubled your business in 2019 versus 18 with back surgery?
Yeah, what were you doing before, and then what adjustments or switches did you make incorporating, whether it be follow-up or whatnot, and then kind of walk us through that.
Well, as Stephen alluded to, I was the lead junkie through Zillow. So I used to get 120 to 180 leads a month just from Zillow. Now that was composed of two components, and that was foreclosure side and also premier agent, blah, blah, blah. So that all stopped. And then I made the leap of faith with Stephen and with Wesley. Okay, I'm going to change my strategy. But one of the things that I had internally, which I didn't realize, was this huge database of people that I can grow my own business from, or from my own roots, so to speak. So, which I never did before, was pick up the phone and start calling them.
Right. How big's your database, Mr. Hatton?
Oh, I have 5,800 people in my database.
5,800. Did you hear that, everybody? 5,800 people. Based on data, Mark, NAR tells us that 10% of that database moves every year, right?
And those are like leads too, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of
there's a mix
leads
in
from Zillow were in your database. And what were you doing with them? Were they just kind of there? What was your, how, let's go back to that. What was your follow-up at the time with those Zillow leads?
Well, on the premier agent side, obviously you want to pay attention to those, because those are supposedly warm leads, which they're
bottom of funnel, we call them. Bottom of funnel. They're
Correct.
the closest.
Yeah, warm. Okay.
So create the warm leads, and really it's basically cherry picking through that lead. It's really not cultivating any business. You're really not doing anything, because Zillow does everything for you, right? So but taking those people in that database that they have, and going back and looking at my people that I did do business with, and picking up the phone and calling them and saying, hey, just saying, hi, I'm going to be in your area. Let's have lunch, or let's have a cup of coffee. But even the people that were Zillow people, hey, I'm just following up. I'm just calling to say hi. If you have any real estate questions or needs, or anything at all.
Are they still in the market?
And even if they're renters, I call them back.
Right.
Yeah. Now, coming back to that campaign, I'm actually very curious. You had basically a database of these leads sitting around that you weren't following up, because you were basically, as new leads came in, you're just dealing with that. And then basically, I guess you were working with Steven, and you guys are like, wait, hey, what about this database of 5,000 people? What do we do? Why don't we just go to this? And that will help maybe through the transition or whatever was happening at the time with Zillow or whatever. But the idea was, so then you guys, whether you call them, did you do calls? Did you do any did you do manual text calls? Did you use some of the system? Kind of walk me through those strategies. Like, what was the first thing? Did you hit past clients first? Did you get leads? Where did that go? And what were the typical responses you got? And then how did you take that response and turn it into something?
It's basically just kind of diving into the pool, so to speak. It's not a matter of who's first and who's second. It's just picking up the phone and calling and saying, hey, are you still interested? If they're not, it's like, are you still looking? Is it in your future? Oh, you've already bought. Okay, great. Is it okay if I just put you on a drip campaign, or, I can put you on a campaign that shows you how much your house is worth today. It's about extra things. So to answer your question, Wes, it's just, it's dialing for dollars, really. And it's making 100 calls. It's making 200 calls. It's just, but eventually you're going to come across people that are either interested in, they want to talk to somebody, or they know of somebody that's interested in it about it. But a lot of this stuff is also from former clients that I've closed with, of just calling and saying, hey, how's it going today? And they just out of curiosity there, or I mean, not curiosity, but just out of conversation, they're like, hey, I just mentioned you to my friend's name, my friend or whoever, let me give you their name or number, and I call them. And I've gotten business more so from my former client business than ever.
Yeah, because they already know, like, and trust you because they've worked with you before. So it's a lot easier
it's the easiest
to
thing. But before I was never calling them, Wesley. I was never calling them before.
Yeah. But luckily they remember you. And that's the thing is, I think, and this is kind of the theme of the show is, most agents are scared to call their past clients because they're not sure like what they're going to say or how there's just like, I don't know if they want to hear from me or what they're going to say, or if they even want to hear from me, or am I annoying them or bothering them?
I think it's the fear of the unknown.
That's the best part though, Stephen. Believe it or not, I found that to be the best part. Hey, Stephen, it's Mark. I know we closed last March. How's everything going? How's the family? I'm going to be around next week. Could I stop by next Tuesday? They're like, yeah, come in the office. It's no, and I shut up, and they usually just start talking, and one thing leads to another, and it was Wesley, funny or not, it was the easiest thing I've ever done in real estate. Easiest.
We need to quote that.
Don't say that.
We need to
Don't say that. Everybody's looking for that shiny object to drive them to a commission check. I got a quick question for Mark. Hey, Mark, have you found video texting to be beneficial for your business?
Oh yeah. I do it all the time.
Can you articulate a little bit on that?
So in that campaign that Wesley is actually speaking of,
Bring Your Dead Leads Back to Life campaign.
Yeah, I would, when I had time, and I did probably half of the people that were in there, which is, a lot of people and a lot of voice texting. But with my phone, I can just put it out and just say, hey, Joe, this is Mark. I'm just reaching back out to you. If you have any questions regarding real estate or any updates, if you know of anybody, just give me a call back and let me know, or text me. You don't even have to call me, and make it kind of a fun thing. But it made me get pretty comfortable with my phone and video. And so I'm pretty comfortable with, not that I'm not really good at it yet, but I'm getting better. But I think that, I think it's just the next step, and I think people are just afraid of it. But I love the video texting, and I think the video thing is my next big step, because that's really going to be a resource.
It's a great form of communication. They say 1,000 picture will say 1,000 words, but a 1-minute video will deliver 1,000,000, which is kind of crazy. So, well, I'm glad to know that that's working good, the video follow-up, because it takes 12 seconds. All we did was cut one video, and then every time he
No, I personalized the
Attach
message,
it.
and I did it to every person. If it was Joe, Betty, Mary, I did it to everyone.
Sure.
Nice.
Very cool.
Great.
Thanks, Mark. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day today to help all these other agents across the country with being a follow-up genius. If you'd like some of the scripts that we've provided Mark on what to say when you do connect with people, make sure that you go to
followupgenius.net. Basically, it's free to be a member.
Yes.
And that's where we're going to post like the show notes, any scripts that we talk about, anything that's downloadable that we talk about in the show. You just become a free member at followupgenius.net, and then you'll get access to all that stuff, including the past episodes as well.
Right.
And then the next thing I think are just talking about action steps. What do you do next? What is the next action that you are going to take? You know, and be in light of our Halloween episode. What I wanted to touch on too is just remember the fear. Don't be scared. You just, like Mark said, you know, you just got to go and do it. All right. So let's say you do it. You get on the phone.
Ring, ring. Hello.
Okay.
hello,
So here we are.
hello.
We're gonna bring. Let's bring a dead lead back to life. This is Fred. He's just gonna be kind of playing in, but I'll be his voice. And
Okay.
Steven is going to be an agent like yourself, right?
Because I am
And-
an agent, just so you know.
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't
well-
look at you because it's weird. Like, I can't look at you. I'm not going to look at the screen either. But I'm just going to give you my pitch that's memorized.
Okay.
And basically, here it goes. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, is Fred available?
Yeah, this is.
Hey, Fred, it's Steven here, Premier Agent with Zillow. A while back, you'd inquired about a piece of property. I'm just following up to see if you found the right house in the neighborhood you're looking to be in.
No, we haven't found anything yet. I mean, I'm not. You know, I don't know. We were looking, and then we're kind of taking a break. It just doesn't seem like there's anything on the market, and a lot of things sell. It looks like real fast. So we're just not really sure what we're gonna do right now.
Oh, I can appreciate that. Are you still using Zillow as your primary search vehicle to find that right house?
Yeah, that and Realtor.
Yeah, you know what I found is, we're Premier Agents and partners with Zillow as well. As much as we love them, we find that their information not to be up to date nor accurate. Have you ever had a chance to get access to off-market properties or properties that never made it to market yet?
No, I didn't even know about that.
Let me ask you a quick question. Fred, has anybody sat down with you and your wife and put a strategy together to help you find the right house in the neighborhood you're looking to raise your family well beneath your financial budget?
No, I mean, I talked to some other agent a little while ago. She said something about I need to go get a pre-qual, pre-prove, something like that first before I did anything.
We don't need a pre-approval or
I
pre-qualification
don't?
to find out what your dreams and goals are.
Oh.
Why don't we schedule a time where we can sit down and put a strategy together? Looks like we have some time available on Wednesday at 4:30 or Thursday at 6. What's going to work best for you and your family?
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, in that case, I mean, we're definitely open. We like to move into something.
Sure.
So, let me talk to wife, but she gets off work probably 6 tomorrow would work fine.
Perfect. We'll just plan on meeting you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Our office works a little like a dental office. We'll follow up, confirm everything, make sure everybody's on the same page. Look forward to seeing you and your family 6 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay, great.
90% of the time, somebody's going to hang up on you. But remember what Mark did? We sent out 1,000 texts, emails, and voicemail drops.
Well, yeah, let's actually, before we even, let's touch on that, right?
He talked to he had 256
you said
people
when you
engaged.
call, you're going to have a decent number. They already sold. You
Yeah,
told
most
us,
of the people
walked
are
us through
bought.
that. And then you also said that people are going to hang up on you, which I think that's where a lot of people are scared. They don't want to deal with that,
So what?
you know?
They don't know what you look like. And it's not like, hey, you know what? That guy, if you run into him at the grocery store, like, hey, that dude just called me and he hung up on me. Like, you're never going to see them. Overcome the fear.
Well, that
False
and
evidence appearing real.
that's one thing that if you have like a system like we ran with Mark, right? I'm gonna plug myself here just a little bit because having that kind of system to go out and do that initial touch for you, so that all you're doing is calling the people who actually wanted to hear from you, kind of makes that a little bit easier. Because no matter how you spin it, people are always gonna have hesitation making those calls
Yeah.
because of the the rejection, the fear of rejection phase, and everyone has that. So
They do.
if you could kind of build a wall with that and have a system go out and take all the rejection for you, and you're just talking to people who want to talk.
Do you know how many agents I talk to on a weekly basis that's been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years? And their production keeps going backwards and backwards and backwards. And they're like, I don't know what to do anymore. I can't believe that, I don't get any leads at open houses like I used to. Door knocking, like I can't get any neighborhoods no more. And I always ask them, how big's your database? Oh, I got 1,500 people in my database. When's the last time you called someone?
Yeah, you're
Never.
better off door knocking your past client.
Never.
Anyway, so that's pretty much that's just whatever you do. The idea is just you got to go out there, you got to do it. Whether you're doing it by setting aside time, time every day, like Mark was doing the video text, doing the text, calling, just working through your list. Whether you're using a combination of that and an automated system like the LinkU follow-up platform,
Mark time blocks.
the ultimate follow-up machine. TheUltimateFollowUpMachine.com, by the way.
The
for those of you
ultimate
interested.
follow-up machine.
But also, I wanted to, just before we forget, we close out here. Mark is in our LinkU Accelerator group.
Yes.
And I did touch on that earlier.
What is that? What's the
Basically,
accelerator?
it's a kind of a accountability implementation mastermind group where we have Steven and I and some other agents, generally top-level agents, that we all get together.
Multiple millionaires,
That's right.
which is very, very proud accolade of ours.
And we make sure to help you and get you to what are you supposed to do next and how to do it and where and having that kind of mentor, that guidance to get you to the next step and essentially accelerate you to the next step. And being Halloween and everything.
That's the treat.
That's right. We now go to trick or treat. And I was going to try and send everyone Snickers bars, but that obviously didn't work very well. So
like,
since we
stuck to the
can't send
camera,
you
though.
candy, it's okay. Since I can't send you candy, then what we're going to do is we are going to give everyone on the call today, or everyone watching the episode, a free guest pass to LinkU Accelerator. It's for a few weeks, and come check it out. Come check out the group. And if you need, and the reason I'm doing this is because if you're watching this episode and you want to go out and take action, and you get stuck, because that's gonna happen. That happens to every one of us. Get stuck. You have somewhere to go. You have somewhere to turn to get. Where do I go? What do I do if they say that? What do I do if they say this? Or other strategy, not just your calls. It could be, well, look, I'm in this situation. How do I do that? Or I want to build a team, or I need help. I'm so overwhelmed. I need to hire an assistant. Whatever it may be, whatever's on your list to get done, whatever's your dreams, your goals. You could probably explain that better than me. LinkU Accelerator is going to help you do that. So take advantage, at least check it out. Come in, let's, talk, and then help you with those challenges and help you to get implementing, accelerate yourself.
It doesn't matter what type of challenges you have. One of our members, I think she's got 67 or 68 active, maybe 70 active listings.
Uh-huh.
She was having a struggle a couple weeks ago with price reductions. Like, how do I get a price reduction? And she's a luxury agent, by the way, which means most of her listings are over 700,000.
Okay.
She does a really, really nice job. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. We're a part of some masterminds that's got some pretty powerful people in there.
Yep. Plug for Closing Table Mastermind.
Right. War Room Mastermind, which
Yep.
is another good one. And these are some really powerful people. At the end of the day, we don't know everything. But
Right.
we just surround I like to tell people this. I don't know the answer, but I know enough people who will get me the right answer.
True.
Right?
Yeah. It can get you any
Leverage your
answer.
relationships at the end of the day.
Got it. So anyway, that concludes this episode of the Follow Up Genius show. And I'm so glad you guys were attending, and gals, everyone out there today.
And just remember, your follow-up should stop when they buy, die, unsubscribe, or at least make them send you a restraining order.
That's right.
Until next time.
Yeah, or that means opt out, guys. Don't really get restraining orders.
Right.
Okay.
Opt out. He's Wes, and I'm Groot.
Yep. And check out, again, all the show notes, everything will be on followupgenius.net. It is free to join. And that is all for us. Happy Halloween to everyone. And go out there and kill it.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Thanks for tuning in to the Follow Up Genius Show. Get the show notes and discover our fantastic bonus member-only content when you become a Follow Up Genius member. Join today free at followupgenius.net. The Follow Up Genius Show is sponsored by LinkU.